Hello all, myself Dr. M. Laxmidevi, Associate Professor in the Department of CSCDS at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In this video lecture, we'll discuss some programs based on structures. So here I have divided this into, question bank discussion on structures will be divided into two parts. So in this video lecture, we'll discuss part A. So here in this, the first program is, we'll write a C program to read full name, date of birth and display the same using the concept of nested structure. So first we'll revise the concept of structure. We'll briefly revise the concept of structure. So what is structure first? So structure is, you can say that it is a user defined data type. Structure is a user defined data type. So it consists of elements of heterogeneous type. So that means we can group it is, we can say that it is a collection of elements which belong to different data types, you can say. So structure is, you can say it as, it is a user defined data type and it consists of elements which belong to different data types. So structure, we can say that struct is the keyword. So this is the keyword to declare a structure. So we'll discuss in detail various programs for writing this, various programs based on structures here. So whenever we need to declare a variable of type structure, so we can do this by using the keyword struct followed by some name, struct name, and then inside this brackets, so we need to declare the members. So these variables which are inside the structure, so these are called as members of the structure. So it can be data type and then one, so data type and then second variable and so on. So here we have, these are called as members of structure. So these members of structure, at the end we need to put a semicolon. So we can declare the structure member, structure variable here itself after this struct declaration, or we can declare it inside the main function also, similarly as we declare a variable. Now we'll see this program. So using the concept of nested structure, we are going to write a C program to read full name, date of birth and display the same using the concept of nested structure. So nested structure can be implemented in two ways. So first one is, we can write a structure inside another structure. Suppose we have structure 1. So this is one structure. So inside this we can declare another structure. So struct and then 2. And then we can declare the variables here itself. For example, so this is called as nested structure. One structure inside another structure is called as nested structure. The other way to do this is, we can declare the variable of one structure inside another structure. So that means, for example, struct 1 and then inside this, if we are declaring struct variable, so this is a structure, if we are declaring the variable of this structure inside this structure, then also this is called as structure, nested structure. So then after that we need to write the definition of this one. Struct 2 can be written as struct 2 and then we need to write this, declare this structure also. So these are the two ways in which we can declare a nested structure. So I have used the second one. So that means, so these are the two ways in which we can declare a structure, structure inside another structure, or declare one structure variable inside another structure. The second approach is used here. So this is one structure here and the variable for this one is declared inside another structure. The name of the structure is person here. So here in the structure date, we have three variables, all are of integer type, day, month and year. Next we have another structure person, name person. So here we have three variables. So one is of character type, string type, this is also an array of characters, whereas this is of struct type. So this is the variable of type struct date. Now let us see how we can read the values. So as we read values for any variables, same we can, by using scanf function, we can read values into the structure variables also. So for example, inside the main function, we have declared the variable of type struct person and then, so person is a variable here. So its data type is struct person. So it will hold values consisting of So in order to access this member, dot operator is used here. So let us see afterwards. First, let us read the values into the structure. So here for this structure we have two variables. So here we have three variables here. We need to read the first name, last name, and then this one is the struct variable here. So let us see how we can do this. So first one, by using scanf function, so we can access the member of the structure by using the structure name and then dot first name, dot variable. This is the member of the structure. Then this is how we can read the last name of the structure. So person dot last name, and then enter your date of birth. So in order to read the date of birth into the variable day, so date of birth will consist of three variables. So in order to specify the date of birth, we need to enter the details like day and then month and year. So this is how we can read. So person dot day, person dot dob dot day. So person is a variable of this one, struct person, struct person and then person. So this is a variable of type person. And then in order to access this one, this variable, we can have person dot dob. So in order to access, this is a variable of another structure called named date here. So this will again have, in order to access each one, we can access it again by dot operator, dot day. In order to access the month, we can access it by using person dot dob, person dot dob variable name dot month. So in order to access this one, we have person dot dob dot year. So in this way, we can read the values into the corresponding members of the structure. Next, after that, we are displaying the same information with the help of printf function. So person dot first name, variable name dot first name will print the first name of the person, and person dot last name will print the last name of the person, and person dot dob dot day will print the day of, this will print the month, and this will print the year. So this line corresponds to the date of birth. So this is a format specifier which we have used here. So this is an integer, all the three are integer variables. So therefore, we have used percentage %d as a format specifier, and 02 means this specifies the space, spaces here. So here inside this we have mentioned the hyphen also. So separated by day we have hyphen. Then after that, after the month also we need to put a hyphen here. So therefore this is a format in which we want to print the output. So if you execute this program and if you enter the details like first, it will prompt the user to enter the first name. So suppose the user is entering Sahasra, then in the next line it will prompt the user to enter the last name. So that is stored in the variable person dot last name. So T is the last name of the person. So if the person is entering this as the date of birth, so 02, 12 and 2021. So this is the day, 2nd December 2021. So with the help of these two printf statements, so this is the output which is displayed on the screen. So your full name is first name including the last name is printed. So in the first line, and in the next line the date of birth of the person is printed. So date of birth is printed in this way, day and then followed by hyphen, then month and followed by hyphen, and then last one is year. So in this way we can give the details, we can print the structure variables and the corresponding name, first name, last name and date of birth. Next program is to write a C program to maintain a book structure containing name, author and pages. So we need to declare a structure named book. So we'll declare a structure named book, and inside this, so structure consists of name. So name, you can say that name, author and then pages. So name is nothing but a string. So therefore you need to declare it as character array. So character name, some specify the size. Author is also the name of the author. And then this is the name of the book. This is the author name. So this is also character array. And last one, number of pages. The data type it should hold is integer. So therefore we should declare it as in this way. Then pass the address of structure variable to the user defined function and display the contents. So here we are passing the address of the structure variable. So we are going to declare a variable of type struct book. Suppose we have declared a variable. So this is the variable of type struct book. So we are going to pass this variable to a user defined function and display the contents. So we have to pass the address here. So structure variable also can be passed in two ways. So first one is pass by reference, pass by value, and the next one is pass by reference. So when you are passing the address, so that means it specifies that we have to pass the structure by reference. So pass by value is we are passing a copy of the structure. So we are passing a copy of the structure. Pass by value means we are just passing a copy of the structure. Pass by references, we are passing the actual address of the structure here. So let us see the program for this. So first we need to include the header file. Then we have defined a structure, book, name of the structure is book. Inside this we have three members. First one is character array, next one is character array, and the last one is pages. So here we have written the function. So this is a user defined function. This is the user defined function. So first let us see this main function here. So in the main function we have declared a variable of type struct book, and then we need to enter the details like author name, name of the book, then author name, and then number of pages. So that is read dynamically with the help of scanf function. So since this is a string, so percentage %s is the format specifier. This is also a string, percentage %s is the format specifier, and since this is integer, so therefore percentage %d is the format specifier. Next, after this, we are calling the function display book details, and we are passing the address of the structure variable. So we are passing the address. So this symbol implies that this is an address symbol. So we are passing the address of the variable my book. So here in this function definition, in the user defined function, in order to receive the structure, so we need to declare a pointer here. So pointer variable, pointer of type struct book. So that is what we have done here. So next, inside this, in order to access, so since this is a pointer variable of type, this is a pointer of type struct. So in order to access the member, we can access this by using arrow operator. So by using this arrow operator, this is arrow operator. So you can access each member by using arrow operator, variable name, the pointer, arrow operator, and then the corresponding variable. So book name specifies the value which is for this particular variable. Book author specifies for value for this one, which the user has given, and book pages specifies this information, that is pages information. Now let us execute this program and try to understand what is the output of this program. So here we have three printf statements. So in the first printf statement, it will prompt the user to enter the book name. So that is read into the corresponding variable. Next, author name. The user is entering author name. After that, at the end, it will prompt the user to enter the number of pages. So this is the information given by the user. And then when we call this function, so this is function calling statement. This is function calling statement. When this function is called, so these set of statements are executed here. So in this, we have just printed the information what the user has given. So same information is obtained here. So book name is book name, this is author name, and these are the number of pages. So in this way, we can pass the structure by reference. We can actually pass a copy of the structure, or we can pass the address of the reference, address of the structure also. So next program is a marketing company is having 50 employees, and it maintains employee records in terms of their employee ID. This is EMP name, designation, salary, quantity, sales amount. So this is the information which the employee record need to maintain. So company gives 10% hike in salary to the employees if the sales amount is more than 50,000. So if the sales amount is more than 50,000, then the employee will get a hike in salary. So the hike is 10% of the salary which he is getting. So write a C program here which displays the employee records who got hike in salary. So that information we have to print. So we'll write a program for this. So first, since this employee record, it consists of information of different types. For example, employee ID is an integer. Employee ID, employee ID is an integer. Then employee name is a character array. Designation also we can take it as character array. Then salary is a float type. Quantity is integer type. And then sales amount is of float type. So therefore, we need to declare a structure in order to hold the information, So therefore, we have defined a structure. We have declared a structure here. Next, after this, inside the main function, we have declared an array. So this is also an array of type struct employee. So that means same as we have array of integers. Suppose we write int a of 10. So this a is a variable which holds 10 integer, which holds values of 10 integers. So that is what it means. So first element can be accessed by a of 0, second element can be accessed of a of 1 and so on. Similarly, this also states that, so this is an array of type. So its size is 2 here. So its size is 2 means, so therefore 2 records are to be maintained here. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So this is employees of 0 and this one is employees of 1. So in employees of 0, again we have information like employee ID. So employee ID, then employee name and so on. So in this way we can interpret this array. So employees, so here we have 2 employees here, 2 employee information we need to enter. So therefore, in order to read these values, we need a for loop here. So we are using a for loop for I is equal to 0 to I less than 2. So then corresponding value is read into the variable emp.id in order to access this value. So we need to access it by using the variable name employees of I. So I states here, I represents the first employee ID. So here first employee name, this is the first employee designation, this is first employee salary, first employee quantity, and then the first employee sales amount. Then after that, when I value is incremented by 1, so that will read the values of second employee ID, name, designation, salary, quantity and sales amount. So in this way, after reading the values from the user, after reading the employee data, then after that, we are calling this function display hike records. So we need, since this is an array, so here we need to pass just the array name and then the size of the array. So here the array name is, or the variable name is employees and the size of this array is 2 here. So therefore we are passing 2. And here in the function definition, so we need to declare a structure variable. So this variable is of type array. This is an array. So employees is an array of type struct employee, and then this is the size of this structure. This is the size of the array here. So inside this function, we have declared one variable I. Then after that, we are writing a printf function, employees who got a salary hike. Now we are going to display the information. For I is equal to 0, we are writing this in loop here. And inside the loop, we are mentioning one if condition. So in the program, it is given that if the employee sales amount, if the sales amount is greater than 50,000, then he will get a hike of 10% of the salary. So 10% of the salary is 10 divided by 100, that is 0.1 into, so employees of I. So this implies that the corresponding employee dot salary. So this is the hike which he or she is getting. So after that, the new salary is calculated in this way. The new salary value will be the old salary plus the hike which he or she is getting. So after that, the corresponding information is printed here. The employee ID, name, designation and then salary. This is the old salary. Old salary is without hike and the hike amount which he or she is getting. And then the new salary. If we execute this program, so this all statements, they are written inside a user defined function. If we execute this program, and if we are entering 2 employee details, So employee 1 and employee 2. So this is the information which the user has entered. Employee ID is 1, name is 1A, designation is, suppose he has an A, then he is getting a salary of 20,000 if the quantity is 1 and sales amount is 60,000. So as per the criteria given in the program, if the sales amount is greater than 50,000, then the corresponding employee, if the sales amount is greater than 60,000, then he will get a salary hike of 10%. So that is what we need to display. So after that, it will prompt the user to enter the details for employee 2. Then corresponding details are entered. Here you can see that the sales amount is less than 50,000. So here the output should be the employees who got a salary hike. So according to the information, the employee, only this employee will get a salary hike because his sales amount is greater than 50,000. So greater than, so his designation is A, old salary is 20,000. The hike amount which he is getting is 10% of the salary. 10% of salary is 20,000 of. So 10% of this 20,000 comes to be 2,000. And then new salary will be the old salary plus hike amount, 20 plus 2,000, 22,000. And this way we can write the program to print the salary of a person, salary hike based on a specific criteria or condition which is given. Next, another program is, so here IARE college is maintaining students' attendance records by storing the roll number, then name, student name, and then attendance percentage in 5 different subjects. So here we need to define a structure. Student, in order to maintain, we need to write a structure in order to hold the information like attendance by storing the roll number. So that should store the roll number, name, attendance percentage in 5 different subjects. So therefore we need to define a structure here. So first we'll write, this is a statement of the program. So we have to write a C program using structures to find the average attendance percentage and print the following. So based on, so there is attendance percentage in 5 different subjects. So for each subject some attendance percentage will be there, and then based on that total percentage, based on the total attendance percentage in 5 subjects, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for each one he will have some percentage of attendance. So we have to calculate the average for that, and then based on this average value, whatever we are getting. So if that average is greater than or equal to 75, then we have to print that the student is eligible for writing the final exam. If the attendance percentage is in between 65 and 75, including 65, so then we have to print that the student is in combination list. If the attendance percentage is less than 65, then we have to print that the student is not eligible for writing the final exam. So this is also a simple program based on structures. So first we need to define a structure here. So struct student, name of the structure is student. So inside this we need to hold the information like roll number, then student name. Student name is nothing but an array of characters, and the last one is attendance percentage. So attendance percentage is declared as an array of size 5 because we need to hold the we need to store the attendance percentage in 5 different subjects. So therefore this is an array. So one of the member of this structure is an array. Next one, after that, this is a user defined function. So this is user defined function. So we'll see this function later on. First we'll see the main function here. So here inside the main function we have declared a struct variable of type student. So name of the variable is student here. Another variable is integer variable I. Then we are storing the information like roll number, name by using scanf function. So the user will enter that is stored in this corresponding variable. And then in order to enter the attendance percentage in 5 different subjects, we need to use a for loop here because attendance percentage variable is an array. So of size 5. So therefore from I is equal to 0 to 5. So we need to enter the attendance percentage of the student. So next after that we are calling this function calculate average attendance, and we are passing the variable of type struct student. So in order to, so this is passed by var. So we are passing the name of the variable here. We are passing the variable. So actually we are passing, this is passed by value here. We are passing just a copy of that student variable of type struct student. So here we need to mention the data type. So this is the data type of this particular variable which we are passing. So here we have two variables, sum and I variable. Sum is of float type, I is integer variable. Then in order to calculate the attendance percentage, so we need not access the roll number and name. Just this information is more than enough. So for each student, for student 1, so you can access this, you can calculate the attendance percentage, average percentage by using student dot attendance percentage of I. So that is sum plus is equal to student dot attendance percentage of I. So this will calculate the attendance percentage, and then finally this is the average. So this is the sum of total attendance percentage, and this will give you the average of attendance percentage. Because there are 5 different subjects, so you need to divide the sum by 5. Next, if you execute this program, so after this, inside the main function, whatever the value is returned here, so this is a float type. So in order to receive this float value, this is a variable average attendance. So based upon this value, we can say whether the student is eligible for writing the exam, or he is in condemnation list, or he is not eligible for writing the exams. So by using if else condition, so here we have more than one condition to be checked here. Therefore, we are using if else condition. If else if condition we are using here. So if average attendance is greater than or equal to 75, then the student is eligible for writing the exam. If it is in between, if the average attendance is greater than or equal to 65, and apart from this, we need to check this condition also. When both the conditions are satisfied, only then the student is in condemnation list. If else, so else includes that. So if the average attendance is less than 65, then the student is not eligible for writing the exams. So based on the average attendance value which is calculated, we'll get this different information. If you execute this program and if you enter the roll number, so this is the roll number entered by the user, this is the student name entered, and this is the attendance percentage entered by the user in 5 different subjects. Suppose for subject 1 is 50%, subject 2 is 50%, subject 3 is 60%, fourth subject he is having an attendance of 70%, and fifth subject he is having an attendance percentage of 80%. So if you calculate the average of all this, you will get 62%. So based on condition, if else condition what we have written, so it is less than 65. Less than 65 means the student is not eligible for writing the exams. So if you give another test case for another roll number, if you run this program again, so if you enter the roll number and student name, if you give some other information for the 5 different subjects, so if the attendance percentage, so this is the attendance percentage which is obtained, average attendance 85.40. So this percentage is greater than 75. So therefore, this is the message which is printed on the screen. Student is eligible for writing the final exam. Next one, this is the next program we are going to write in C language to maintain a record of n student details using an array of structures with 4 fields. So structure will have 4 fields. So roll number, then name, and then marks. Next one is grade. So this is the struct student, you can say. So these are the information which needs to be maintained in the structure. So assume appropriate data type for each field. So roll number is of type integer, name is character array. So you can write some character array. Then marks are of float type. So this is, we have declared it as float type, and grade is character type. So grade is nothing but it can vary from A to A, B, C and so on. So based upon assume appropriate data type for each field, print the marks of the student name as input. So we have to print the marks of the student name as input. So this is a program where we need to enter the student details, and based upon the user requirement, if the user is searching for a specific name, then that particular student's information has to be displayed on the screen. So that is what the program is about. So here, in order to we have included two header files here, stdio.h and string.h header file. So this is the structure type. So this is the definition of the structure. Inside the main function, so we need to read the value of n. So this is a structure of type. The variable name is students and it is of array. It is an array. The size of this array is n here. So we can read the student details by using for loop. So for I is equal to 0. So the first student information is stored. In order to store this information, we have student of I dot roll number. So we can assign by using scanf function. We can read the values into the variables, and we have also written in order to display the grade here. So roll number, name, and marks. So based upon the marks which he or she is getting, the grade is decided. So student I dot marks, if it is greater than 90, then the grade is A. If the marks are greater than or equal to 80, then the grade is B. If the marks are greater than or equal to 70, then the grade is C. And else, if this condition is satisfied, the grade is D. Else, the last grade is F here. So in this way, the grade is calculated based upon the marks which the user is entering. Now in order to search for a particular student, suppose we need to search for a particular student, we can search by using the name. So that is what this search name variable holds. It is of character type. Then it is an array of character type. So we need to enter the name of the student to search for. So that is read by using scanf function. That information is stored by using scanf function. So we have declared one more variable, integer variable, found is equal to 0. And then we have written a for loop here. So for loop, so since this is an array of struct type, so therefore each student name has to be compared with the search name. So search name is the variable which needs to be compared with each student name. So therefore we have written this using for loop. So for this, we can compare this by using strcmp function, which is a predefined or built-in function which exists in string.h header file. So if this value returns 0, that means the two strings are equal. Then found value is assigned 1 and the corresponding marks, the name and marks are printed on the screen. So it will come out of the loop here. So if this does not exist, if there is no student with the search name, then this condition will be evaluated. So found is equal to 0. When found is equal to 0, not found means 1. If this becomes true, 1 means true here. So this condition will be evaluated. Student with name is not found in the search list. So if we execute this program, if we enter, so it will prompt the user to enter the number of students. So there are 3 students records we need to enter here. So it will prompt the user to enter the details for student 1. Suppose this is the roll number, this is the name, and these are the marks for the student. So based upon this marks, grade is calculated, but that grade is not displayed here. So this grade is marks are greater than 60. Greater than 60 means he is having a grade of D. Next, second student details are entered, roll number, name and marks are entered. Similarly, third student details are entered, roll number, name and marks are entered. Then we need to enter the name of the student to search for. Suppose we need to search for this, we need to enter the details for this particular student. 2A, suppose we are entering this one. 1A is a student name. So his corresponding marks are displayed on the screen. So his marks are given by 67. So this is like searching for a particular value in the structure. So in this way we can write the program. So in this video lecture we have discussed question bank programs based on structures. So structure is nothing but it is a user defined data type, and so we have seen that you can go through my previous video lecture based on structures. So structure is nothing but user defined data type, and it is used to hold elements of different data type, that is heterogeneous data type. In this video lecture we have discussed some programs based on the concept of structures. In the next video lecture we'll discuss some more programs based on C programming. Until then, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.